Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the new Extreme Z area that's been added into the game for the DB Saga. So this is a brand new Extreme Z area that has been added in for the DB Saga units, being TEQ Bulma Youth and being Strength Yamcha. Now Yamcha can be obtained from the Path to Power event, and TEQ Bulma Youth can be obtained from the Looking for Mr. Right event, both of which are in the top right hand corner as links, so you can gladly take a look at all of those. Now in terms of the actual Extreme Z area itself, it's a little bit of a revamp and a change from the traditional Extreme Z area, but we'll take a look at that. But it follows the basic same principles. You need to do stage 1 and 2, both stages on both difficulties, and this will give you the medals required to Extreme Z awaken the unit. You need 15 bronze, 40 silver, 30 gold, and 30 rainbow. Their Extreme Z awakenings look pretty decent. Bulma has chance at 77% damage reduction, which is pretty impressive, and Yamcha has the ability to guard attacks. So they continue this trend of DB Saga units potentially being incredibly kind of versatile and very good utility options to augment their team. So very good stuff in general. Both Bulma and Yamcha I think look like solid pickups, so I would suggest to people firstly to consider doing so, and secondly I would also consider to tell people that you should invest your time into this Extreme Z area. Now in terms of the actual Extreme Z area itself, there's not too much that you need to focus on beyond farming the requisite medals. There are characters that are required to be in the teams, Bulma and Yamcha, and of course you are also required to have, on top of that, some limited options, but there's plenty of decent choices. We'll be building an entirely free-to-play team as best we can. There's not a full free-to-play lineup of options, but we have almost just enough to run a team. We'll be using Yamcha as our primary unit, as our lead, and you can just fill up the team with whichever one you want. It's probably even easier to use a World Tournament LR like Jackie Chun or Demon King Piccolo than to actually use the AGL, Easy Aid, Bulma and Goku. But if you want to use them, you can. You can just alter this team in whichever way you wish. There's no real restrictions on it. Just slot in any DB Saga unit you can find, basically, and stick them into those final 2 slots. It's not a hard Extreme Z area at all. It's incredibly straightforward. So obviously once you have your team ready to go, you can just kind of move into the event. Please also be advised that there is no bonus drop rate for these stages, as the medals don't change. You receive a set amount of medals per run, so you have to be aware of that. Now they have changed the Extreme Z area format, and I think it is a much better change, less confusing for players, and results in basically no real wastage of stamina. Now you will get enough copies of the bronze and silver or gold and rainbow medals to easy aid the unit after exactly 6 runs of both stages. Well, 5 runs of the first stage and 6 runs of the second stage. You honestly, basically, to cut a long story short, do need to also understand as well that there is a chance for a little nimbus to appear. If you get on that nimbus and you move across to the other side, you will get double the amount of medals. So for the first stage you have to run it 5 times. This is pretty straightforward. For the second stage you have to run it 6 times, and this will be per character, which means in total you're looking at doing around about 400 stamina or so. Around 400 stamina or so to max out both units. So it could take you a day or 2 depending on if you use meat or don't use meat, etc. So I'm not going to show you the first stage twice on both, but I will show you the second stage for both of the units. The reason being is the second stage actually has somewhat interesting mechanics, I say in inverted commas. The units can nullify Sealing, Stunning, and they're a little bit tougher. But honestly speaking, you don't even have to easy A Yamcha or Bulma to take on both of these stages. Now the second stage you have to take on a total of 6 times. Obviously every time you get a Nimbus, that total reduces. So if it's the first stage and you get a Nimbus, you have to run that stage 4 times. If you get another Nimbus, you only have to do it 3 times in total. Whereas the same applies to the second stage, or sorry, second difficulty. You run it 6 times, if you get a Nimbus 5. So there is a nice way to at least speed up the process and make things a little bit easier for everyone. But yeah, honestly speaking, it's a pretty straightforward system. I like to take this TEQ because of his crit. He basically somewhat makes the stage almost a autocomplete, which yeah, is nice for me at least. So I do quite like taking this TEQ. Obviously again, just to remind you, it's 30 gold, 30 rainbow as well, so just please be aware of that. And then we have to take things, pretty simple from there. In terms of the actual principles, I think beyond that there's nothing too much. There are the missions as well. So the missions require you to complete each stage 7 times. This is pretty straightforward. Again, nothing too crazy here. You'll get a stone from each of those, a little bit of Zenny back, but nothing too wild. Both units are definitely worth their easy A's. I think Bulma is the kind of unit, because it's a great chance for damage reduction, she's the kind of unit that's going to have moments where she looks exceptional and moments where she looks not great at all. Yamcha, on the other hand, you need a Pepe Gals unit to make him look really good. This is not too difficult, honestly, because of the fact that, there's a lot of great Pepe Gals options for the DB Saga team. You can use this free-to-play Bulma, you can use the other free-to-play Int Bulma, you can use the Strength LR Bulma. There's plenty of great options for the teams that he's on. Now, in terms of which unit to easy A first, I would suggest always to easy A Yamcha first, because he's the lead of your team, and easying him first just makes things go faster because it gives all the units a little bit extra stats, which is honestly better. In terms of the hidden potential system for both units, we'll cover that a bit more in the review video. Yamcha uses basic strength orbs and Bulma uses her own exclusive orbs, so you have to obviously factor that into account. Beyond that though, that's basically it. I don't think there's anything else really to cover. What I'll do now is I'll just skip ahead basically to where we're done, and we'll just quickly easy A both units. A little reminder as well that obviously if you are easy-aing both units, you're going to want to have a second copy of the unit at SA 5 so that you can fully max out their SA, because that's obviously going to help you out. But beyond that, that is everything you need to know. So you'll see the missions aren't done, and then we're going to skip ahead. There we go, we've entered the future and all the missions are done. Very, very super quick. Honestly, everything went more than fine. It took literally 20 minutes of auto battling, wasn't difficult in any way, shape or form. So yeah, everything was great. I think Bulma's good, I think Yamcha's good, and I'm excited to use them in their review videos. But that's basically going to be it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, of course, as always, and yeah, I don't think there's anything else to cover. If you guys need any more assistance, you can always let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye.